1st of July 2022. Now I want to throw ourselves back and see what happened in the market yesterday, which is on the 30th of June. So we have to consider what happened yesterday and what are those things that we do as a trader to make money from this market. Now, like I've told you, that our entry with this system here, we are using 1 minute chart as an entry, and this is what we have been using for over 15 years, and this is what this our trading system has been able to leverage on over the time. Now, without further ado, let's look at what happened yesterday in the market and how we take our entry, how we get into the market very quickly before other times frame start invoking. So let's go back to 1 minute. We are taking our entry from 1 minute, like I've told you. So this is what happened today. So this is what we have here. We'll be having this from here. So I've been able to draw a vertical line. I need to take a screenshot of this so that we can seriously understand what the market or the euro has been doing. So we are taking a screenshot. Very good. A screenshot has been taken from here. So fine. If we look at this place now, you will agree with me that from here to here, we've been able to identify an entry. Now let me draw a line for you to be able to see this. We've been able to identify an entry that basically take us from here to this place, and we are able to make some decent money while trading. Now, this is the premise of our trading. Now, there are two scenarios that we are looking at before we enter this trade. Number one, we are looking at our 240 moving average, which is the horizontal line that are lying here, which is the blue line. So from here to here, we realize that prices have been able to cross up, giving us an entry in 1 minute, and this is where we have our entry. Now, another thing that we are considering as a trader again is this: we have to move down to a bigger time frame, like 4 hours daily, and also look at 1 hour. Now let's start from our daily chart and see the sentiment that we are having at the daily chart before we can take a decision that this very crazy market is going to go up today. Now, this is our daily chart. Our daily chart has been revolving around the world, around our pivot point, which is our major support, which is our areas of pivot points. If I have to draw my pivot line, you will discover that this area has been challenging by our areas of resistance. Now, our support. Now let's move back to 4 hours. Now, if you get to 4 hours here, from 4 hours here, we've been able to see our trend line that is challenging this area. Now let's move again and see how the system is moving. Let's see what our pivot point has been doing. I think I have to pick the pivot point from here. Let's see what the pivot point has been doing. Good. From here to here, we realize that, let me pick it properly so that we can get the better information of it. So from here to here, we realize that from this place, this is where I am seriously concerned about. I'm seriously concerned about this place because I want to see where my pivot point lies with what? Lies with our what? Lie with our Fibonacci level. Now, I am having an area of confluence. I am having an area that the prices are converging together and forming what? And being repelled at that point. Now, this is the area. So I need to draw a vertical line. I need to draw a vertical line for this line to be identified. So I've drawn a vertical line. Now let me take a screenshot again. I'm taking a screenshot of this for us to be able to do a better analysis. Now this is, I'm taking it from here to here. So here is the screenshot. So I'm taking off. I need to take this away. So here is the screenshot. So if you look at this area now, you will agree with me that this very area is an area of conflict. It's an area that the price got resistant. How is it so important to me as a trader? I'm sorry about this. It's important to me as a trader because number one, I am seeing a double top. I'm seeing a double bottom here and here. And on beneath this place, I'm also seeing what I refer to as Fibonacci level, and my pivot point, which is resistance 2, is lying around that place. So this is telling me that this process will not do what? Will not go up. So when I'm seeing prices being challenged at that area, I want to believe that the prices is going to be what? Is going to go up. So from here now, I'm having a very serious uptrend, and this is telling me that this situation might continue tomorrow. It might continue and start moving to what? And start moving to this very area. Start moving to this area that I refer to as 220 moving average, which we are still going to make a video about how to trade the 220 moving average. So let's go back to our main chart. Now, since I've taken away, I want to take away the Fibo. I'm taking away the Fibo here so that we can have a better analysis of the market. So I'm taking away the Fibo. Yeah, I'm taking it away from here. I'm still taking it away. I want us to have a better one. Now, I've taken away the Fibo after I've drawn a line to tell you that this line also have pivot area. Look at it from here. So from here to here, there's a double bottom, and from here to here, we also have the trend line that forms around this place, and from here to here, we also have the pivot point that forms, and from here, which is this line, this very line that I'm having here, which is my stochastic, is telling me that we are having what? We are having an uptrend for today. Now, since we have gotten an engulfing pattern in 4 hours, this is telling us that this system is going to do is line in shape, and we might probably have a move on tomorrow while the market resumes. Now let's go back to 1 hour and see how this goes again. Now if you look at 1 hour, let's take this away for us to be able to see the trend very well. Now if you look at 1 hour from here, I want to magnify the chart for you to be able to see it very well. This 1 hour here, I've got an engulfing pattern. This is an engulfing pattern from here. This is an engulfing pattern from here. Then after this engulfing pattern, because if you look at this candle here, this very candle, which is the low candle, rests on what? Rests on my pivot points. It also rests on my Fibonacci level, and it also rests on my trend line. So I have avalanche of confirmation that this trend is going to move up. Now, since I have an engulfing pattern from this very candle, like I've told you, I've explained to you that an engulfing pattern, prices will engulf with the wick. It will engulf with what? With the shadow. So this is exactly what we are having here. Once it got engulfed, and the next candle that follows is our entry. Now, when we enter from here, we want to put our stop loss around this place. And while the prices continue to trail up, we do what? We continue to move up. But mind you, like I have explained previously in the previous class, in the previous video, that the essence of using 1 minute is to be able to filter noise from this area. Now I'm taking another screenshot for you to be able to see the area that I define as noise. Now let's see the area that we define as noise from here. Let's take a screenshot, and we want to see the area that we identify as noise in 1 minute. So now we are on 1 hour chart, and this chart has come up from here. So if you look at this place now, this shadow here, if it goes to 1 minute, they are going to cause a lot of confusion. We cannot trace shadow, and that is why we need a system that filter out shadow from the system. Now let's come here. Let's come to this place and see how we can take a shape. Let's take a shape. Now, from here, I'm bringing it down. From here to here, and even here is a shadow. Anything that occurs at this place is a noise. Anything that the shadow is giving you is a noise. Then how do you identify that noise? That is the essence of using 1 minute chart to enter the street. And with your 1 minute, you are at a safer end to do what? To take a very strong move, take a very strong trade to move forward and get your money. Now, because I am taking out my what? My noise from here. I want to take into cognizance what is happening to this shadow. Why do we have this shadow here? Why is this shadow so important to me? Now I want to draw a line. I want to draw a line to tell me to identify the shadow area before moving to 1 minute chart. So let me draw some line in form of a box for us to identify this very shadow area that may probably convince us why we get into our entry area. So I'm still drawing a line from here. So this line is what I need. I want to identify this area. But now, what I got from 1 hour is that from this very candle here, I've got an engulfing pattern. And this very candle here, I've got an entry. Now, I think I need to explain it very well. Let me take this off. I'm taking this off. I'm still taking it off. I'm still taking it off. Now, this from here, from this very candle, this is the candle that engulf. This very white candle is the candle that engulf. Now, and this candle that engulf has been repaired by support and resistance. Probably we are having support down now. It has been repaired by support, and we also have what we call as Fibonacci level, and we also have what I also refer to as the pivot level and the trend line. At that point, that is my what? That is my exit area. Now, if you look at this place from here to here to this pivot line is an exit. But I'm coming up with the videos on exit, how to exit your trade. So I'm going to be using pivot points, I'm going to be using Fibonacci level, and I'm going to be using the trend line to identify my exit points. Now, from here now, I am looking to take a trade. And for me to take a trade, I will take a trade from here. Yeah, I want to take my trade from here, and I want to put my stop loss around this place. My stop loss should be around here. This is where I'm putting my stop. So I'm putting my stop below this area. Now, for me to do this, I must make sure that I got an engulfing pattern in 4 hours, in daily charts, and I also have an engulfing pattern in my mid-range. I call it 1 hour in a mid-range charts. So those are charts that will give me a quick information about what is going to happen in 4 hours. Are you getting my point now? Now, if you look at this place, now let's take for example, we are looking at here. Now let me take this off so that we can see it very well. Let's take them off. If you look at this place now, let's assume this candle from here, or let's take it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are activities of 4 hours. This area, I call them activities of 4 hours. These are telling me these are what 4 hours are likely to do. Now, before I will know that 4 hours is likely to move further, is that I will be looking for an engulfing pattern first in 1 hour. 1 hour must first engulf before 4 hours engulf. You have to get that information at the back of your mind. 1 hour A must first engulf before 4 hours engulf. Let's move back to the main chart and see how it goes. Let's move back to the main chart. Now, from here now, we discover that 4 hours, which is here, 4 hours, which is here, this is where we have an engulfing pattern in 1 hour. This is where I draw this black line. I want to, okay, let's go back to 1 hour for us to be able to see very well. Now, this is the line I drew. Let me take all this one away for further analysis, right? For us to be able to see this properly. I'm still taking it off. So, I'm still taking it off. So, from here, from where I draw this horizontal line, where I have this horizontal line, is where my entry point is in 1 hour. So, look at it from here. I think I want to magnify the line. Good. So, I want to be able to get it very well. This is where my entry point is lying in 1 hour. Now let's take it from here. So I've been able to draw a line. This is where I have my entry in 1 hour. Now because this is where I have this very candle engulfing this. But if we move down to 4 hours, we are going to have different move, different shape. Now let's take it from here. If you look at 1 hour, from 4 hours now, after we have a lot of this series of what? Series of shadow down from this bearish candle. Now what do we have from here? This is where 4 hours, 1 hour engulf. Look at it, 1 hour engulf from here. Now if we were to wait for 4 hours to engulf this candle here, to engulf the candle here, let me draw another vertical line, another horizontal line, telling us that this is where 4 hours engulf. This is, and for you to take this trade in 4 hours, you have to wait until this 4 hours finish. That means you must have lost a lot of profitable trade while doing that. Now, from here now, you take a trade from here in 1 hour. You are not going to enter this trade in 1 hour just like that. You are still going to move down to a lower time frame. Now, this is where we have a break in 4 hours. Now, let's move back to 1 hour and see where that break occur. Look at where the break occur in 4 hours. This is 4 hours break that occur here. But yet, we still need to do what? We need to move forward. Now, if I'm entering into here, I have lost quite a number of pips. Now, if I'm taking my calculator to calculate horizontally, what I'll be losing from here is going to give me around 38, 39 pips. That's what I'm losing before I have an entry in 4 hours, which is not the way we take this trade in this index forex trading system. That is not what we use. Now that's why I explained to you that you must move down to a lower time frame to get an entry. Now let's move back again to 30 minutes. Now look at what 30 minutes is giving us. 30 minutes is giving us an entry where we have our 1 hour is giving us entry. So we are still having what? We are still having an entry to go up. But now, if you look at this trend, you look at the trend that we have now, you will realize with me that 240 moving average is below the price. We should be looking to go down. That is just the basic. But now, because we are having a trend change at a critical area of support and resistance, which is what? We are having a very serious trend reversal, a trend change at the pivot point, which is here, and also at what at the trend line, which is down here, this area is telling us, and we see the way the prices are behaving. So this is to tell us that we are going to be looking for a engulfing pattern. Now, as a trader, you must realize one fact, that engulfing pattern is very critical to what? To your trading decision. Now let's move back to another shorter time frame, because you have to consider what is happening in all the time frame. Now, if you look at this place now, from here to here, we have what? This is where our 1 hour is crossing. Look at where the 1 hour is crossing. So, and this very candle is a candle that engulf, that is the line that we have here. And this is where we have our 4 hours crossing. And this is the profit we will have made if we enter here. Now, something is happening in 15 minutes. What is happening? What is happening in 15 minutes is that the trend line, the 240 moving average has begin to repair the price in 15 minutes. And this is where a lot of traders get confusing. Now, when you get like I've told you, 240 moving average, so have a lot of strength, a lot of audacity to repair prices. Prices are always respecting this area. So in that form, we as a trader, we must wait. We must also respect the area that prices is holding on to the market. Now from here, now we look at this place from here. Prices move and get to this place. Basically, if we got an entry from here in any time frame, we must do what? We must ensure that from here we respect what? We respect the 240 moving average. That is basically what we need to do. Now let's move back again to 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, like I have told you, I don't use 5 minutes, 15 minutes to get an engulfing pattern. What I use for my engulfing pattern is my 4 hours and my what? And from daily chart, 4 hours and 1 minute and 1 hour. That is where I am targeting to see my engulfing pattern. But what do I use 5 minutes for? I use my 5 minutes for crossing. I want to see the stochastic of my 5 minutes. How are they behaving? Because this is what is going to give me an entry, because I'm a day trader. I day trade my trade, and I make sure that I don't open my position down before the close of the day. I take anything, whatever loss or gain, I take it away. I don't take my positions to the other day. So this is how it moves from here. Look at it from here. This is where we have an entry. If I'm to use this system to enter this trade, I'm going to have an entry. If I'm using 5 minutes to enter, I am going to have my entry around this place. This is where I'm going to have my entry. So, and this is too conservative, and I'm going to lose a lot of profit from here. Look at when the prices cross to the 240 moving average, I have my entry from here. So that is why I don't use this as my entry, because number one, it has filtered out a lot of noise. There are a lot of variations. It has given too much variation for me to be able to get an entry. Now let's move back to 1 minute. I'm still moving back to 1 minute. So very good. If you look at 1 minute now, this is our entry in 1 minute. This area is our entry. This is all the shadow that we are having previously in 1 hour and 4 hours. These are the shadow. So if I look at where I draw the line, do you see this? All this area are shadow. We call this shadow because as soon as prices approaches the 240 moving, it approach the pivot level. It's also approach the Fibonacci level, and we are seeing a trend line in 4 hours or daily charts or in 1 hour. Whatever that happened at that particular area, in index forex trading system, we refer to this as what? As noise. We refer to this as noise. This will never take us anything until we have a cross of the moving average of the prices crossing the moving average in 1 minute, and we have an engulfing pattern in a bigger time frame. Now this is where we have the engulfing pattern already. This is the candle that, this line here is where we are getting our engulfing pattern. And if I take this away, there is nothing in this place. But here, look at it from here, it's telling us in 1 hour. That's why I drew the line in 1 hour. Now, because all this candle we are having here, all this candle that we are seeing here is what? Is the activities of 2 candles, which is probably 1 candle or 2 candles. That is why I refer to this area as noise. The reason is that this area is activities of support, Fibonacci, and also the trend line that are forming. The prices are begin to struggle along that line, and that is why you see that when I drew this line. Now let's go back to 1 hour and see where this line falls. You see that I am not. Look at the line from here. Let me take this one up. I'm taking this up. Look at this from here. This is the line I'm talking about. This is the line that we have seen in 1 hour. Look at the line. And this is the highest low. Look at it from here. This is the lowest low that we have here. This low is the lowest low that we are having here. So if you look at it from now, the same candle, these 2 candles are the candle that form those noise. Now, for you to filter out the noise, what you need now is for you to do what? Is for you to go back to 1 minute and check what are the activities of 1 minute. Now, moving back to 1 minute, this is what we have in 1 minute. This is what we have in 1 minute. This is our entry in 1 minute. This is where we enter. This is where we get an entry in 1 minute. Why all this area before the prices cross, look at it from here. All these places is noise. I consider this area, this very area, as noise. I'm looking at this area from here as what? As a very strong noise, which is from here. So from here to here is just the activities of support and resistance. That is the fight that they need to fight to cross this hurdle. And why this hurdle is crossed has been crossed. Look at how the trend move. Is it not moving? Is things not looking funky from here? Is it not looking funky from here? Look at how it goes. Is it not looking funky from here? Please subscribe to this channel. Click the notification button. Let us build this channel together, so that when I release another video, you'll be able to know what is happening. It does not take you anything. Just subscribe. If you want to be a good trader, I will train you how to turn $1,000 to $4 million in 1 year. This is what I have been doing. I'm going to give you the clue. Listen to this. Watch this video severally. You will get what I mean. Now let's move down to another trend line, another chart, and see what has really happened for today. Look at what happened today when the prices cross. This you are seeing here is news that come up. Ordinarily, price will not behave like this. What can make gold to behave like this? When there are news or when they are hitting a support that is an historical support or resistance. That's where they will react in that way. So this is what is happening today. So this is what we have gotten today. By tomorrow we shall also look at another chart and consider what are the possible scenarios that is going to happen in another time frame. So I wish you good luck, and I want you to continue subscribing to this channel. Look at what is happening. Learn this trading system so that you'll be able to do what you'll be able to sound, you'll be able to sound and be among those 1% that are making money. So I wish you good luck, and I say God bless you.